nice when you make $1.1 billion, but it just doesn't help you when it comes to getting by the issues with the supply chain. Here's some hot news for you. There's delays to Caverns of Ixalan product, mainly collector boosters and commander decks. Due to production issues, collector booster displays for Lost Caverns of Ixalan are not expected to arrive in time at stores for the start of pre-release on November 10th. We anticipate these will arrive in stores during the week of pre-release and up to 3 weeks after. Oh, that's like a 3 to 4 week window? Okay. In North America, commander decks will have limited availability during pre-release, with more availability expected on the following release on November 17th, a week later. So let's talk about this, people's reaction to it, and what this means for you, the consumer. Okay, that bit's really obvious. You just can't buy your collector boosters for up to 3 weeks, maybe even 4. But let's talk about it anyway. This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com. So if you want to pre-order your sealed product that they can't fulfill because Wizards of the Coast, okay, that was a bad ad read. If you want to buy other stuff that isn't Lost Caverns, things that won't be available yet, link in the description below. Use the code Kenobi at checkout to get 5% off your order. The reason I joke about the 1.1 billion is because I spent the morning trying to familiarize myself with the earnings call that happened a week or so ago. The reason I didn't do a video on the earnings call this year when I did it last year was simply because I was on holiday. I spent time with my wife and kid after I came back from CubeCon in America. We went to a cabbage patch, we went to a local farm with my sister and her kid, and it was wonderful. It was really, really nice to basically switch off for the most part. I still checked Instagram and Twitter, but I switched off for the most part and just enjoyed not being online or talking about Wizards of the Coast. But since then, the share price has plummeted. I didn't make a video about that because it kind of happened off the back of the earnings call that I hadn't contextualized and hadn't got around to reading properly and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I started reading this morning. I even posted some stuff to my Discord to get other people to help sense check stuff that I wasn't getting because I'm not financially minded. And it just makes me laugh how much fucking money Wizards of the Coast made. 1.1 billion in the last year of revenue. That's before we take away costs and such to get profit. Either way, they make a fuck ton of money. Like a fuck ton of money. Way more than most things at Hasbro. Overall, they pointed out that in the last quarter, Wizards of the Coast and digital marketing was up by 40%, basically thanks to Magic the Gathering and Baldur's Gate 3. Meanwhile, consumer products down by 18% and entertainment by 42%. The 42% entertainment thing is weird because the D&D movies supposedly did well, but they're trying to sell like E1, one of the production companies that are involved with the D&D movie, alongside Paramount. So I was like, how can that cost you so much money to get rid of? And someone on my Discord explained that it's like trying to sell an asset that's depreciated and thus you've got to claim you've lost some money as it's not worth what it was when you got it or some shit. I am not an accountant. The reason I bring all this up is because we got production delays again. Or at least this time for the most, we had it last year, which pushed products to be really close together with the Warhammer decks and stuff in the October period. It's happening the same time this year, or around the same time this year, where products are we aren't having a whole pushback of a product line like we did last year, but instead we're having some of the products get pushed back. And I find that fascinating when you're making so much money. I'm not saying that you can just throw money to fix this problem. What I'm pointing out is that you can make all the money in the world and still printing and logistics and staffing and supply chains of your resources that you use to make your product, all of those things can still fuck you. Because money can't buy everything. On that note, you could throw more money at just employing more people to work on Magic the Gathering Online and Arena, and then we might have better clients. But that's not the same as this. You can't just magic away the Suez Canal issue. That's not the issue here. The exact cause of this, we don't know. We just don't know. It's interesting because they mention only North America in their original post. I asked them to clarify if it was just North America. So that might be something to do with the North American supply chain, the production facilities. Is it okay from Belgium and the European side? However, multiple people replied to me explaining that actually, according to the distributors in their areas, game store owners, it's going to be the same in Europe too. We can speculate, but I'm not really going to do that. I don't think that's really helpful. I will observe that it's super interesting because in like the fireside chat a couple of weeks ago, I think it was Chris Cox, it might have been Cynthia, one of the bigwigs at Hasbro and Wizards said that they were aware of the release schedule being criticized as quite tight and quite packed, and they alluded to the fact that they are last year seemed worse because of supply chain issues pushing things closer together in terms of release dates. So it's ironic that that was observed and that won't be an issue anymore, and then it happens literally a couple of weeks later after the Hasbro stock takes a fucking kick in the balls too. I guess issues like this, the production issues to collector boosters and commander products, wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that the production schedule was so rammed. On the upsides, when you look at the release schedule, this week is the release of the Lord of the Rings bundles, I believe, and then Lost Caverns comes after after that, with some of that product being delayed out into Christmas. But at least in this slot here, it's all those things are being delayed and showing up in your stores and on shelves at the same time as the next product line. So actually there's some space here and some breathing room that looks good for that. That said, of course, the stores get fucked on this, right? Although we get some breathing room going into the Christmas period, it does mean that stores have already now paid cash into things that they haven't got in their store to sell to people to get the cash back. It's bad for game stores to have delays like this. Meanwhile, there is no other product release on the horizon until the new year, but you can guarantee Wizards will be releasing, or at least putting out for sale, some form of Secret Lairs through the Christmas period. There is no fucking doubt in my mind that there will be some assets and some resources within the company being put towards selling you something directly from Wizards of the Coast for you to purchase that obviously has to be printed and produced too. Either these delays may have a knock-on effect on that, or resources have already been allocated to that. And I think that's probably one of the issues, right? Surely the resources should be focusing on tentpole, main set, standard releases for the game stores, not the direct-to-consumer shit. Although direct-to-consumer is one of the biggest areas they've grown their revenue in recent times. The profits, the profit report doesn't tell us that explicitly, but the Fireside Chat I did listen to last year and the year before, the ones where they give all like the cliff notes of it all, explain that direct-to-consumer sales through Hasbro Pulse and other methodology is the way in which they're growing their sales funnel. But if there is nothing else coming to stores in the rest of the year, which is actually shocking to me when I sat down to start this video, why are we releasing in mid-November? Why is the release date going to be the, I'm saying mid-November, but it's actually pre-released on the 10th of November. Why don't we just stick to the end of November? We already had a situation where people felt like the Doctor Who decks landed and you didn't get room to talk or breathe or even think about them after the fact, all the way up to the lead up, and once they're out, fuck it, we're on to Fallout spoilers, we're on to releasing Marvel news, we're on to previews for Ixalan, and now Ixalan has dropped, and then what? We just have 60 days to think about it and play it? That sounds great, but why not spread things out a bit more? Maybe you won't get so delayed if you cram every fucking thing into the earlier parts of the year and leave a 60-day window where nothing comes out. Maybe I'm wrong in this. Something I said on my Discord earlier is this normal in other industries? Is this a thing that other companies do as well, where they release nothing into the Christmas period to allow everyone to have their seasonal festive period of buying up the shit they didn't buy earlier in the year? That kind of makes sense. But I don't know why this couldn't be spread out for a couple more weeks if we've got these delays. I guess they probably would have done once they've got that date in place. They do not want to move that date fully to facilitate everything. That's probably a bad look too. Interestingly, in spite of hitting a 5-year low, the Hasbro stocks, they are beginning to climb back up very slowly. I think something like this, maybe, I guess we're a day after the announcement now, so we haven't seen it hit again, but having your one cash cow have delayed sales of larger, more popular items like Commander decks can't be great. Personally, delays for me, I can take it. I'm not exactly excited for the collector boosters over the main set that I can play online in my store, and the Commander decks, I guess I have a small amount of excitement for some of the cards, but again, I can take it or leave it. I feel a lot worse if this is one of the sets that I was very excited for, Doctor Who or Warhammer, for example, but I guess the pain point is with the local game stores. But these things happen, is something I kind of want to say, but I don't know. I find it hard to be really difficult or like confrontational towards Wizards of the Coast for having to delay some products. At least the whole set isn't delayed. Although some more space between releases would be nice for someone who engages with every corner of the product. I guess standard players right now are probably laughing at me going, I don't give a fuck about your Warhammers and Doctor Who shit. Give me a new standard release. So maybe I'm being very self-centered there and perceiving Magic as a hobby like I engage with it, where I want to just fucking put my fingers in every single hole, where other people are very choice about which holes they put their fingers into. I guess that might be the way we should all engage with the hobby more as we go forward. And by hobby, I mean this game that's produced by a corporation. Calling it a hobby makes it feel so soft. I should take my fingers out of those holes now, shouldn't I? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Am I missing something in this story? I don't think I am. Alright, back later on with some modern gameplay, hopefully. And I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.